Hello everybody, welcome back to another 10-minute series. And in today's video of this series, we'll be covering solar power plant. I'll be explaining you in basic terminologies in easy language how solar power plant works. So let's quickly begin. So let's explain it in the form of a block diagram. First, let us draw the block diagram, right? This is a PV array. Sunlight falls on this. Then you have inverter. You also have charge controller. Remember, I've written an or sign, but these two are not the same. Then you have battery bank. Then you have monitoring system. Then you have step up transformer. Then at last, transmission towers and lines. So this is the basic diagram. Now I'll explain you how it works. So firstly, sunlight falls on PV array, correct? Then in solar power plant, it's very simple. Sunlight energy or photo energy is directly converted into electrical energy. I'll tell you why I'm saying directly converted, because in other hydra or nuclear or wind energy, it's different. There are some multiple steps, but in solar power plant or in solar energy conversion, it's very simple. Light energy directly into electrical energy. It's very simple. Okay, so this is going to get converted into electrical energy over here. This will go to this power. Electricity generated is DC power supply. This DC power supply will go to inverter, but we know that most of our appliances take in AC supply, not DC. So this inverter's job is to convert DC to AC. But in daytime, okay. In night time, what can we do? There will be no sunlight. How do we generate power? So that time, some amount of DC power supply or the excess DC power supply will go to the battery bank. At night time, when there is no sunlight, from the battery bank, again it's going back to this inverter charge controller, and then the inverter converts that DC to AC. That is given to step up transformer to increase the voltage. Here what supply is going? AC supply, because inverter has converted to DC to AC. Then that is going to go to transmission towers and grid lines, and where we get it into our homes. That's it. The process where charge controller basically checks charging, how much charging, how much discharging. If you're going to fill the battery with power, that is charging. If you're going to let the battery use it or get it away from the battery, that's discharging. And all this is monitored by the monitoring system. How much is going where, how much is left in the battery, how much time it's taking to charge the battery, all that is taken care of by the monitoring system. So solar panel or the photovoltaic array, PV's photovoltaic array, this has solar cells basically, which converts photo energy to electrical energy. Now what happens in the photovoltaic array, semiconductor, all that much depth not required. The sun energy is converted to DC supply, that's what I've shown you here. But most of the loads are in AC nature. So we have to convert DC to AC, that we are doing by using an inverter and a charge converter also, right, which is helping in charging and discharging. The AC supply is then fed to the transformer, step up transformer, to boost the voltage, right, which is given to the AC grid system, these, and later to transmission towers and lines. So battery bank also is there, or this is also known as the energy storage unit, is used during daytime, so after DC to AC we can so actually it's not after DC to AC. DC only is getting stored in battery bank. Afterwards it is extracted and then DC to AC is converted to by the inverter. So we can use it in the night time to generate electricity by discharging from battery. To observe this charging and discharging process, we use monitoring systems to analyze capacity, how much consumed, all that. And one more thing is, during discharging of battery, there is chance that some charge from battery can go back to the solar panel array. Like, but coming back here, chance it might slip into this again. So to prevent that, we use something known as blocking diode. This blocking diode, what does it do? It prevents the DC supply, prevents the charge, or by discharging prevents it prevents the charge to go from battery to PV array. So it helps in discharging time. So this was about solar power plant, very simple. In one block diagram you can understand it. More such videos, stay tuned. See you in the next one. Bye bye.